All right, good morning. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. All right, first things first, let's talk about the economic news that's coming out or data that's coming out today, if any. So we have Wednesday, August the 23rd today. Lots of news that came out in Europe already. Lots of stuff that came out in Europe. So since there's so many releases in Europe, that probably is going to have some impact on our markets. We have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Well, bricks is everywhere. So seven, eight, nine releases in Europe. We'll say eight in Europe and then one that's basically all over the place. Two releases from Canada. And in the US, we have Flash Manufacturing PMI and Flash Services PMI, which will come out at 9:45 a.m. Eastern. At 10 a.m. in Europe, they'll have consumer confidence, which shouldn't have much of an impact on us. But at 10 o'clock Eastern, we'll have new home sales. So should be a pretty eventful day as far as news is concerned. Again, I know that most of these are European, but with so many releases, it is still a global economy that should have some impact on us, or at least that should influence our markets because Europeans trade our markets too. And they will have to trade our markets in response to what they think are going to happen in their markets. So there you go. So in other words, if they think things are bad over there, people may move money from stocks positions in Europe into positions in the US or vice versa. So we'll see. Anyway, so at 9:45 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern, we'll have two major reports that will be coming out for the United States, or three, sorry, major reports that will be coming out for the U.S. So we'll see what happens. Now, having said that, let's take a brief look here at the stocks which were moving during yesterday's trading. All right, so the Nasdaq overall was bearish yesterday, mostly going down, not up. And let's take a quick look here at the chart for our first stock, which is Airbnb, which was able to reach target number one of 126.19 and go about halfway to target number two. Roku was bearish, at least at first it was, able to get down to target number one of 76.89. Gilead, GILD, was only able to reach target number one of 76.50, and then it got stuck there. Although it is up in the pre-market, as we can see. Not trading on enough volume or percent change for it to qualify for the pre-market list, but just a heads up that it is up. Google currently, was able to reach target number one, which was 130.11. JD.com was bearish, however, it only got down to target number one of 33.17, and then it went flat from there. Coinbase was able to reach target number one to the downside of 74.19, and then that was it. After that, just basically went back up. FULC was able to top out at $6.37. Rivian was able to reach target number two to the downside of 20.21. AMD was able to reach target number 2 to the downside of 105.31. Right, blockchain did not actually get to its target number 1, so that one didn't really do much. Neither did Mara. NVIDIA was able to reach target number 2 to the downside of 454.39. Plug Power was able to reach target number 2 to the downside of 844, and then it flattened out. Zion Bank was also able to reach its target number 2 of 32.90. That was not one that I gave out a target for, unfortunately, but I did mention that it was going down, so probably some of you caught a little bit of that. Intel was very strong at the start of the session. It got to target number 1 very quickly, but then that was it. So target number 1 was 33.71. And then Lyft. Well, actually, that was one that I didn't really look for targets to the downside. So that's about it. There was another stock that was moving a lot yesterday. I can't remember the symbol, but some of you were in it. But I forgot the symbol, but it's probably somewhere in my list of stocks that we looked at recently. Let's see. I don't see it, but there was one stock yesterday that really moved well, but I can't remember. Can't remember the symbol. I forgot to put it into my list, but yeah, something like that. It was yeah, I mean it was something, but I can't remember what it was. But was it VFS? I think that's probably it. That's the one. Yes, VFS. That's the one. So VFS started the day off at $19 a share, went all the way up to $46.98 a share. So very, very good move on that one. Okay. So one of you brought that up in the room. Actually, two of you did. And my expectation was that it might be able to get to somewhere between the closing price of the 16th, which was 30.11, and the opening price of the 17th, which was 27.86. Well, it blew past all of those. It's a new stock. Its all-time high up until yesterday was at its IPO, and that high was previously 38.78. So the stock was able to get completely past that. Okay. Does this start at 5:30? No. We start at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, Steve. But I don't know what time zone you're in. So anyway, actually, it doesn't start at 8:30 Eastern. It starts at technically about 8:30. 8:35 is where it's officially scheduled. But usually I start at 8:40. Anyway, Eastern time. Yeah, so it starts around that. Usually starts at officially it starts at 8:35 a.m. Eastern. Usually I start it at about 8:40 Eastern time. All right, so VFS had a really good move. I know a couple of you were in that, so good job on that. Okay, now having said that, let's go ahead and move forward and look at what's moving pre-market today. All right, so the pre-market list, just as a reminder, this is not a list that we're looking at in terms of options trading. All I'm looking for are stocks in the pre-market that are very active. Now, just because it's very active doesn't mean that it's going to do anything during the regular session, but they're just stocks that we have a heads up for. Sometimes they do move after the bell, but not always. So that being said, we're just looking to see if there are any stocks that are very active in the pre-market. So let's look at what is, and we'll see at the market open if there's any follow through or not. So first up, I see BGLC. Now this stock is trading up 30.43%. 5 million shares have traded pre-market, and it is, of course, it's a NASDAQ stock, but also is trading above $1 per share. So the criteria we're looking for the NASDAQ stocks would be they have to be at least $1 per share, must be trading at least 5 million, I'm sorry, at least 1 million shares in the pre-market or more, of course, and we need a percent change of at least 6% positive or 6% negative. So this stock does qualify, so BGLC will be added to our pre-market watch list. Okay, BGLC. It doesn't mean that these are the only stocks we're going to look at during the day. So emphasizing again that if they're not doing what we're looking for, we just move on to something else. So PTON is next, Peloton. This is a decline of 29% on about 4.3 million shares. Of course, it's trading above $1 per share. This is off of earnings. Peloton's been in a lot of trouble, as you know. So PTON will now be added to our pre-market watch list as well. And let's see. Peloton shares plunge as it warns of continued losses. Revenue outlook falls short. Bike recall costs pile up. Yeah, they've been in trouble for a few years now. All right, let's see. Tesla's showing up on my scanner, but I know it's not moving enough, so I won't even bother looking at it. But maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. I doubt that Tesla's moved 6%. Let's find out. No, it has not. Right. All right. So now we need to see if there are any other stocks other than the ones that I've mentioned. So if you guys see any other stocks that meet our criteria, please go ahead and mention that here. Darren's already mentioned VCIG and GRAB. Now these have to be stocks that are NASDAQ stocks. They have to trade at least 1 million shares in the current pre-market session. They must have a price of at least $1 per share, and they must have a percent change of at least 6% positive or negative. If you pull the stocks up on your True Edge platform, you'll be able to see if the stock meets all of those criteria. So make sure you do that before you mention them. I already know that most of you guys are doing that as well. So I'll repeat them in a second. So VCIG, that does qualify. That currently is up about 48% on 1.5 million shares of traded volume. Price is $5 and change. So that qualifies. So we will add that to our pre-market list. So far on our pre-market list, we have the following. We have BGLC and PTON. Those are our two. Of course, I'll have these copied in the coaching room. So anyone who's in there, you'll have that. Next up is GRAB. Okay, that's up over 7%, so that's perfect. 1 million shares traded, no problems there. And it's over $1 per share, trading in the $3, mid $3 range. So GRAB is now added as well. ADI, let's see. ADI does not qualify, Carl. Now let's look at the numbers. First of all, the stock is not trading anywhere close to 1 million shares in the pre-market, so that's a no. Second of all, the percent change is not at 6% positive or negative or greater, so that's also a no. It is a NASDAQ stock and it is trading in the right price range, above $1, but unfortunately it misses on 2, so that does not qualify. So guys, make sure you double check that the stock is actually trading at least 1 million shares in the pre-market. How do you do that? you pull it up on your True Edge platform and it will show you exactly how many shares is trading in the pre-market. You also need to look at the percent change. You pull it up on your True Edge platform, it'll tell you exactly what the percent change is. So once you do that, you'll know for certain if the stock qualifies. So for example, if I bring up Tesla, I see it has the right number of shares. It's over 1 million. It is a NASDAQ stock. It's trading above $1, but right there, that does not qualify. So this is only for our pre-market list. This is only stocks that we're looking at in the pre-market because they're very active. And if at the opening bell they do something good, they make a strong move, great. If they don't, we move on quickly to something else. Okay? So remember, these are not stocks. This is not the only stocks or the only stocks we're going to look at during the day. These are the ones that are calling for attention in the pre-market so that when the market opens, we'll see if they're doing what we want or not. Where do we find the prime list of stocks for today? That's what we're doing right now. We're doing that as I speak. That's what we're looking at this moment. We're looking at stocks that are primed to move. We're looking at what's happening in the pre-market, and then once the bell rings for the opening of the market, we'll see if these stocks continue to move or not. All right, any other stocks, folks, that meet the criteria, please let me know in the chat. So far, we've got BGLC, PTON, VCIG, and GRAB. Once the coaching room opens, I will take this list and post it inside of the coaching room. But between now and then, you have the list already, and you know how we found them, and you know why we're looking at them. So any other stocks that meet our criteria, folks, let me know in the chat, and I'll go ahead and take a look. This is easy. These are the stocks I'm mentioning here. There are only 4 criteria, so you can use anything you want to find them. So if you have any platform that allows you to screen stocks, if you can tell it, show me a stock that presently, right now, in this pre-market session, has traded at least 1 million shares, a stock that has a price change of at least 6% positive or negative. It's a NASDAQ stock and it's trading at least $1 per share. That's really all you have to do for this part. So most people here are already running their own scans to find stocks that meet their criteria. Some people are using FinViz. Some people are using their brokerage platform at Thinkorswim or E-Trade. So whatever source you want to use is fine. It just has to find the stocks that meet the criteria. All right, folks, so it looks like we don't have any more, so we can go ahead and wrap up the Premarket Pulse. Most importantly, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That's weird because I never had to ask them for anything pre-market, but okay. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're getting close to our 3,000 subscribers, so we want to keep that momentum going. Also, if anyone is watching this video on replay, or maybe you joined in live but you're not part of our program, be sure to check out fundertrading.com, our website. You'll learn more about the program. You'll see a link to that in the description of this video. Other than that, for everyone in the coaching room, I'll see you in there, the actual coaching room, in about 22 minutes, something like that, just before the market opens, and then we'll start up from there. All right? All right, folks, have a great trading session. I'll see everyone for the Pre-Market Pulse tomorrow. Take care.